everyone, this is Grace. It is February 2nd, 2024, and we're going to be speaking of creation in this video. This is just going to be a quick overview. I haven't actually done a real study, but I had mentioned a verse that I had come across that showed that I felt like implied that other men had been created instead of Adam. And then I went looking for it and I saw I had made a mistake. So I figured I'd kill two birds with one stone and address both of those issues in this video. We're just going to take a brief look at Genesis 1:1. So in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Let me say a few things about God. So we'll just touch on a few things. And just understand that this is not a study. I don't think that this is important in the sense that most people that believe one way or the other, they don't change other parts of the Bible because of that belief. Kind of like the Virgin Mary thing. Even often you'll see people that believe that Jesus' father was a man, but they still don't deny the deity of Christ. So even though they don't have that same foundation, it doesn't change the other beliefs. You see what I'm saying? So I think that this is one of those issues. It's one of those things that people tend to believe individually, but it doesn't seem to... Hold on, my mouse is missing. It doesn't seem to influence the other beliefs enough for me to think it matters whether you believe one way or the other. But I do believe that there were other people that were created. I do believe that. And until proven otherwise, because like I said, I've not made a deep study into this. So in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. There's one God, the Father. I'm going to do a separate video about this, so I'm not going to go in depth. But just to be clear, there's one God, the Father, and then you have God, who is Jesus. God created Jesus first. So this was God and his son. And his son, he was like, hey, let's do this. Okay, sure. Let's do this. And when it says God created the heaven and the earth, think of a mother and her son baking a cake. The mom puts the flour in a cup and says, pour that in, and he pours that in. She puts the oil in the cup and says, pour that in. She puts his hand on the spoon, puts eggs or whatever she puts in there, or applesauce, whatever she uses. Puts his hands on the spoon, puts her hand on top of it, and stirs up the cake, pops it into the oven, and then, maybe he helps with the frosting. Then they go to dad and look what your son created. Look at the cake your son baked, and brags on him. That's what's going on here. God is the Father, is the creator. He did create Jesus. It tells you that in the Bible. I didn't look up the scriptures. It's in there. But he did create Jesus, as he created everything. But he created him first. And that's the beginning. Hold on. Okay. While I was waiting on the noise to go away, I was kind of thinking, I don't like the way I phrased what I said before. The truth is important. It's always important. It's kind of like one of those, it's kind of like where they say if it's a hairline off, just, and then you travel to the moon, then you end up miles away off of your target. I think where we are now is okay, because I believe that I know that in the end it will all come together as we gain more understanding. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't believe that people are going to cling to these things as much as they do some of the other more serious doctrines. Now, I may have been wrong about the virgin birth. Men seem to like the idea that she was born, that Jesus was born of a man. So maybe they do cling to that. I don't know. It just has not been a big deal as far as I was concerned. So that's why I said that. But yes, it's always important to have the truth. But in the end, we will come together. Those that love the truth. Okay. So, in the beginning, there was God. He created Jesus. So, those two. So, Jesus was the beginning of all of the creations. Then he formed the earth. 776. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. Let there be light. He created light. He created the darkness, etc., etc. He made the firmament. Excuse me. On the second day, I'm just skipping down to the fourth day. And God said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place. He divided the waters above and below. And he called the dry land earth. And he gathered together all the waters, and the gathering together of the waters called he seas. And God saw that it was good. And God said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth. And it was so. So he brought forth food and vegetation. And the earth brought forth grass and herb, yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit whose seed was in itself after his kind. And God saw that it was good, and the evening and the morning were the third day. You know what I just realized? I was talking about in the previous video, one of the previous videos, how they had turned everything around. The evening and the morning. Yeah, they turn the evening and the morning around as well. Well, I guess that kind of goes with the territory if you make midnight the beginning of the day. So the morning would begin the day. Yeah, but it ended up turning the evening and the morning around as well. So now we go morning, evening as opposed to evening, morning. Oh, and the summer the summer, winter as well. They changed the winter into the summer, and the summer into the winter. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. So now he's creating the heavenly bodies, the earth, all of the, not the earth, the sun, the moon, all the planets. It's going to tell us in here also the stars were created. Those would be the angels. So all of that was created on the fourth day. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for seasons and for days and for years. Let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. It doesn't say the planets, but it does say the stars. That's the heavenly bodies. That's the angels. And God said, and God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over day and over night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. Oh, wait. The stars are planets. They're just wandering planets. Okay. He did create the planets then. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. And God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly. So he created the heavenly bodies. Here he's going to fill the skies and the sea, above and below the earth. So he's kind of going from the out inward. And God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creatures that have life, and fowl that may fly above the earth, in the open firmament of heaven. And God created great whales and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And God saw that it was good. And God blessed them, saying, Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let fowl multiply in the earth. And the evening and the morning were the fifth day. And this is the scripture right here that addresses what we spoke about earlier. Now he's filled the sky, he's filled the heaven, he's filled above the earth and below the earth. He's filled the skies and the seas. So now we're going to hone in on the earth. And I want you to pay attention carefully to what's being said here. And also, I think I mentioned I made a mistake in one of my previous videos about the living soul. But I want to point that out here. So I want to point that out here as well. And God said, Let the earth bring forth living creature after his kind, cattle and creeping thing, and beasts of the earth after his kind. And it was so. So this could be read two ways, I guess. You could say, and God said, Let the earth bring forth the living creature, and then he means the cattle, the creeping thing, and the beasts of the earth. It's not really the way it's written, though. And God said, Let the earth bring forth the living creature. He's talking about man here. Man. But there's a difference between this man and Adam, which I had not really noticed before until I came looking for this scripture. It says, And God said, Let the earth, 776, bring forth the living creature. It's man, after his kind, cattle and creeping thing and beast of the earth after his kind. And it was so. And God made the beasts of the earth after his kind, and cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. And God saw that it was good. And God said, Let us make man in our image. So now you have man 120 in our image. But it's going to tell us in the next chapter how man was made. In our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl, and over the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. And we've already spoken about how man was originally created as male and female, and then female was taken out of man and created as a helpmate. And God blessed them, and God said unto them, Be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. Hold on a moment. So let's go to chapter 2. I've got the wrong verse highlighted here. This is the verse we're looking at here. And the Lord God formed a man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. So this is our verse here. And let's do a comparison. Okay. And God said, Let the earth bring forth the living creature. It's the living creature. That's man. If it was supposed to have been a list, they've got a colon right here. Why not say, And let the earth bring forth the living creature, colon, or after his kind, colon, cattle, and then lists them off. They literally have a colon in this sentence. It would have been appropriate to put a colon here, but it's not. It's the living creature. They're talking about a man here. The living creature after his kind, cattle, creeping thing, and the beast. It's not a plural, by the way, also. Cattle and creeping thing and beasts of the earth after his kind. It repeats. The living creature after his kind, and then cattle, creeping thing, and the beasts of the earth after his kind. It's just, the sentence is just not structured to where this is supposed to be the cattle, the creeping thing, and the beasts of the earth after his kind. And it was so. It would be more like, and God said, let the earth bring forth the living creatures, or living, it could be the living creatures, but it would have to be a plural. The living creatures after, it probably would be their kind, because it's going to be more than one kind. The cattle and creeping things and the beasts of the earth, and it was so. After his kind would not be repeated. It's just not structured to where this living creature is supposed to be categorized with these living creatures. It's separate. So that's why I said, if you can accept it, and I'm not trying to press it on anyone, because I could flip on this if I found the right study that said no and explained all these verses. I just noticed them. I just noticed that it was strange. So, the living creature here came from the earth. And I do believe it's separate from the cattle, the creeping thing, and the beasts of the earth. Here, God formed the man of the dust of the ground. Now, I'm not trying to be dramatic when I say this, but dust tends to float in the air, and it really only settles onto the ground when there's calmness in the air and in the earth. Okay, there's a difference. There's supposed to be a difference. That's why there's a different word used for the man that's created here and the man that's created here. And the one thing the difference that I did not notice before when I did the video is that it uses the word man here, which is the word human. God created human of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And man became a living soul, and human became a living soul. Man, mankind, a man, a human being. And we know from our studies in Ezekiel that there is a difference, a notable difference between the man, the H120, and other mans that are other terms for man that are listed in the Bible. Though I can't recall those right now, so I can't mention them. But in Ezekiel they say son of man a lot. Son of man. And so we had to look into that word man. But anyway, man was formed from the dust of the ground here, and man was formed from earth. It doesn't say man, it just says living creature. But what else could it be? It's not a cattle, it's not a creeping thing, it's not a beast. These are listed separately, so it has to be a man. Well, it doesn't have to be, but that's what I think it is. That's what I think was created here. And then the angels were created with the heavenly bodies on the fourth day. Just a short study I wanted to put out in order to make that correction because of the distinction of man. Also, I had told you that I had seen a verse, and so I just wanted to, I felt like that would be a good opportunity to point this out. Anyway, if I see anything else, I'll let you know. I actually don't look for stuff like this. It just kind of... yeah, you know what? I'm just going to stop there. If I see anything else, I'll just do another short video and we'll discuss it then. This didn't require very much research at all. I just read through one chapter, so not a big deal. Okay, I will stop there, and I will talk with you in the next video.